Welcome to the People's Platform on the People's Station, Power 88. I'm your host, Minister Stretch Sanders, joined with my co-host,
Michelle.
And we are so honored and excited for our show on the People's Platform. We have a very special guest. Before we get to our guest and our topic, we want to give you guys the book of the month, Defining Moments in Black History, reading between the lines by the late, great Dick Gregory. And so our topic for this evening is the state of Black America. What is our condition? I think that our guest is definitely qualified to give us an examination of that. And I use that word carefully because before a doctor can tell you what's wrong, he has to first examine to figure out what the symptoms are. What's your condition? Wouldn't you agree?
I agree.
And so we have a living legend, a national, global figure,
Absolutely.
Minister Ishmael Muhamnad, who is the national assistant to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And so without further ado, we introduce our guest, Minister Ishmael Muhamnad. Brother Ishmael, what is our condition?
First, my dear brother and friend, Reverend Stretch Sanders, and to your co-host, Sister Michelle, thank you so very much for extending me this honor and privilege to come on the show to talk about the state of Black America and what we can do as a people to improve our condition. If we look at the vital signs of Black America, we're not doing well. In fact, the vital signs tell us that we are on our deathbed. So is America as a nation on her deathbed. If we look at the education and the high dropout rate of high school students, if we look at this inferior and poor education that are fed to our children that do not give them a sense of self-worth, dignity, respect, love, and pride. If we look at how the education that we are being fed is so Eurocentric, and the young Black boy and girl cannot see themselves in the picture, so they become disinterested in the education after second and third grade because they don't see themselves there learning about white achievements, white accomplishments. And so the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has said to us that the crime of immeasurable dimension that has been committed on Black people is the deprivation of knowledge and depriving our people of their history. For the deprivation of knowledge and depriving us of our history robs us of the springs and motives and does not help us to realize the great potential that we have in ourselves. For if you rob a people of their history, our people don't know what their forefathers did and their ancestors did in the building of civilization, then they cannot see the possibilities, the unlimited possibilities that are within themselves to achieve great things, because they come from a lineage and a heritage and a tradition of great men and women who are the fathers and mothers of civilization. If you look at the vital signs in health, the Black community is suffering from poor health, and we lead in all of the statistics the disproportionate rate of death among Blacks from heart disease and cancer, hypertension and cardiovascular disease, lung disease, diabetes. All of these things we are afflicted with, a very poor diet. So our health is not good because we were not taught how to eat to live, and we're not growing our own foods. We are dependent upon this system to feed us foods that have been denatured. If you look at the economy, we are rich people, yet that dollar that comes into our community does not circulate more than 6 hours before it's in the hand of others. Though we get $1.3 trillion out of the American economy, but very little do we own. Land we don't own, factories we don't own. Very few businesses are owned by black people. So we're suffering from the lack of jobs. So the unemployment in the major cities is high, especially among the black youth. And that leads to poverty. And